Content warning. This is a horror game and not intended for all audience. Please visit our website if you need a specific list of content warnings. This also contains flickering image effects as well as a parallax effect that on rare occasions causes motion sickness in players. If either of these effects cause health issues, you can disable them in game's preferences.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Silently continue.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamak. This is Let's Play Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut Edition. I'm doing something that's actually kind of horrible.
Don't believe a word. We're not going to go through with this.
We're getting to all the chapter 2s and then specifically turning away before we meet the princess. Which is a pretty horrible thing to do because Omni Princess keeps reaching us and there's nothing she can do to stop us from doing it every time. In other runs, she's been able to chime in with, you have already committed to my completion, you can't go astray, but she can't actually do that now.
Is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table, the blade is your implement. You take the blade from the table.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Okay, yeah, you caught me. I'm here to slay you.
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Oh, whatever.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
It's pretty awkward.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
That laugh. I think I'm in love. Stop it.
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm down here, or how I got here. I was kind of hoping you might be able to shed some light on the whole situation.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
I'm getting you out of here. Examine the change.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm going to check upstairs. Maybe the key's still around there somewhere.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Hey, let me out!
And pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Try the door?
Try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Return to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save her.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
We can't slay the princess. We have to warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
You know, a thing that struck me about the thing that struck me about the voices, the narrator said that he stitched, basically when he tore us apart, there's a little bit of us in her and a little bit of her in us. Maybe that's where the extra voices come from. Her perspective of us is what creates things like the stubborn and the broken and things like that. In response to us having a perspective of her and changing her into whatever Chapter 2 personality she has.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Turn around. We need a checkpoint. Because we do want to come back to this.
I'm not so sure running away is the best idea. We're not the only person stuck here. What about her? Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
I'm actually okay with the world ending. I relish the coming of a new dawn. Gonna walk in the opposite direction
There
now.
won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Leave one final time.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy. What's going on? Where are we? Did we do this? Is this the end of the world? Was there ever even a world to end?
The world around you is unwound, its physical matter replaced by textured nothing. It's quiet. You've been here before, memory returns. There's a distant rumbling, a sound of many sounds. Undulations pulse louder as something other comes close. Oblivion. The many feelers pull your shape into something formless. You have made a decision. It is the wrong one. I love you. You are bliss, joy, and understanding everywhere at once. Your soul threatens to fade away. I love you. You are agony, a numbing arm, a parched throat, an open wound. Your soul is forced back into existence. I love you. You are bliss, joy, and understanding everywhere at once. Your soul threatens to fade away. I love you. And here we go again. Numbing arm, parched throat, an open wound. The soul forced back into existence. I love you. Oh dear. Ad nauseum. Exist. 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 So I did see something that said you don't have to keep picking the same choice, you know, but I don't know whether this is it, and it does seem like it's getting a little bit repetitive. Also, it's a good thing I made that emergency save, because I wouldn't have been able to backtrack after picking all this. Consciousness fades away. Just as you were once nothing, so have you become nothing once again. The Princess Oblivion. Are you sure? Are you sure that you're thanking me for playing when all I did is condemn them to oblivion? Okay, so that's actually tied to one of the final routes, so we don't actually have to worry about that. Wait, no, give me that. If I hit continue, then I go back to Oblivion. Oh, you bastard, you're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
Tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did happen. Why should I listen to you?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Oh, you'd be surprised at how close we came to giving you exactly what you wanted, mate. Although, in a way, it might actually be worse because there isn't going to be a long, quiet version of us to take over what she did, is there?
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Talk about the princess.
Just be quick about it.
The only reason she was able to kill me last time was because I let her. All she did was slit my throat. How's she supposed to end the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
Check my pockets.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front.
So I found out about this from watching Proton John, and I'm very slightly confused at how I didn't get this on my own. Did I really never explore other dialogue options whenever I got to Skeptic? I mean, the first time I did this game, I do recall that I walked away and Omni Princess got very upset at me. Not as upset as she's been at me, but... Did every other time we come here, I just didn't bother with the dialogue?
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Who locked her in the basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Yes, right. We're here because we're special. Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
Okay, that's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind...
Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
You didn't say anything about the mirror.
Definitely did not. Does a mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. I think you know what we have to do.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door.
Oh, actually. Empty slot? Oh dear, it really is Oblivion, isn't it? That's the equivalent of playing DDLC and getting to the part where you can't access your old save files even if you store them away from the game. I want to look at myself, I want to see how handsome I am.
Let's not get caught up in vanity, but we should definitely take a closer look. Whatever it is, he must not want us to know about it. Is this some sort of rehearsed bit? Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hoped it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Receive vital evidence of the princess's wrongdoings. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
I actually don't remember. Technically, yes, but it is missing something. It's missing the end, I think.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Okay. How do I want to go about this? Because I do actually want to slay the princess this time. Let's just go all in.
Without a moment of hesitation, you charge the princess, your blade primed to deliver a lethal strike.
I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us. Just listen to her, do what she says. How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Slay her.
Steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart.
I feel legitimately bad about this one. I feel legitimately bad about it.
The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved.
I accidentally... Thank goodness that it checkmarked us here.
Will and refuse. You fumble but a single focused blow was all it took. The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
So, the achievement we got was Executioner. Coldly execute a rational prisoner, I think?
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
And just like that, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward. I don't like this. It was too easy. It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably. Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now. You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises? It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone, and especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
Fine, but if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all uphill from here.
The windows. Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
Open the door and accept your reward?
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward?
Are you going to give us opportunist?
This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it. Okay. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
I was kind of hoping we'd get a better ending for saving the world.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No, this is the beginning of eternity. Your reward, like I just told you. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
What do you suggest, then?
We still have a blade. Let's use it on ourselves and start over.
He's suggesting you kill yourself. You shouldn't kill yourself when you have an eternity of bliss right in front of you.
Okay, I'm going to try accepting my reward because apparently skeptic will do something if you try.
That's great. More happy time passes. Though
he's just saying things.
The voice's protestation, eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though
No, you stop that. Stop all this nonsense.
You really don't want to be happy, do you?
Have a voice ruin your happy ending.
You know what you have to do.
Is there really no other way because I don't want to use the blade on myself?
If it makes it easier for you, I can do it. Let me have it.
Give the blade to the voice of the skeptic.
Alright. I'll make this quick.
You goddamn spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
Yeah, fine. The little voice raises the pristine blade to your throat and cuts it open. You rapidly bleed out and then you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
Until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. Man, I actually feel really miserable about this episode. Omni Princess did not deserve that sort of ending.